Thailand and Cambodia are rarely discussed alongside Taiwan, the South China Sea, or the Korean Peninsula. Yet the two countries experienced 2 rounds of armed conflict in 2025, resulting in more than 100 deaths and the displacement of over 500,000 people. While international attention remains focused on larger crises, the Thailand-Cambodia frontier has quietly emerged as one of Southeast Asia's most fragile fault lines. The significance extends beyond the border itself. Thailand is a major automotive and electronics manufacturing hub, while Cambodia remains deeply integrated into global garment supply chains. Any renewed fighting would affect trade flows, investment confidence, tourism, and ASEAN cohesion. More importantly, it would expose the limits of regional conflict management at a time when the Indo Pacific is already under growing strategic strain. Rather than asking whether another flare-up is possible, policymakers should focus on identifying the indicators that reveal whether escalation is becoming more likely. History suggests that major conflicts rarely begin with large-scale offensives. They begin with small incidents that spread geographically. The most important signal to watch is not the number of clashes, but the expansion of their footprint. During the 2025 confrontations, tensions moved beyond a handful of disputed temple areas and appeared across multiple sectors of the frontier before larger fighting erupted. A widening pattern of patrol confrontations, landmine incidents, or localized exchanges would suggest that deterrence mechanisms are weakening, and that military forces are becoming increasingly willing to test boundaries. Nationalist rhetoric is common in many countries. What matters is when governments begin adopting the same language used by nationalist movements. The key warning sign is convergence. When military leaders, government officials, state-affiliated media, and influential political figures begin framing the dispute through identical narratives of sovereignty, historical grievance, or national humiliation, escalation becomes more likely. Such rhetoric narrows political flexibility. Leaders who publicly commit themselves to uncompromising positions often find it difficult to step back without appearing weak at home. In many territorial disputes, words become strategic signals long before troops move. The 2025 conflict demonstrated that border tensions cannot be separated from Thailand's domestic politics. The relationship between civilian governments, the military establishment, political protests, and judicial institutions remains a critical variable in Thai decision-making. Periods of domestic uncertainty often create incentives for nationalist mobilization. Border disputes can become vehicles for demonstrating strength, redirecting public attention, or reinforcing political legitimacy. For this reason, political instability in Bangkok may prove just as important as military activity along the frontier. Modern conflicts leave traces long before the shooting starts. Large troop movements can be detected through satellite imagery, but other signals are often equally revealing. Border closures, restrictions on cross-border commerce, fuel shortages in frontier regions, declining labor flows, and disruptions to infrastructure all indicate growing tension. The movement of Cambodian workers back across the border was one of the more noticeable developments preceding earlier confrontations. Economic disruption often serves as an early warning system for deteriorating political relations. Perhaps the most overlooked indicator is the absence of diplomacy. When mediation efforts slow, regional engagement weakens, and international attention shifts elsewhere, the risk of escalation can increase. The previous rounds of fighting occurred during periods when external pressure and diplomatic visibility had diminished. This matters because both Thailand and Cambodia operate within a broader regional environment shaped by ASEAN, China, and the United States. When outside actors disengage, local disputes gain more room to escalate. In geopolitics, silence is often a signal. The Thailand-Cambodia dispute is no longer merely a bilateral border disagreement. it has become a test of Southeast Asia's ability to manage instability in an era of growing geopolitical competition. A third confrontation would not simply affect two neighboring states. It would disrupt supply chains, weaken investor confidence, challenge ASEAN's credibility, and create new opportunities for external powers to expand their influence. The most important lesson is that escalation is rarely sudden. Strategic warning signs usually appear weeks or months in advance. The question is not whether those signals exist. The question is whether policymakers are paying attention before the next crisis arrives.